Live from New York, it's the show that is recapping the First Things First Bowl. It's First Things First today. Oh, a classic Category 2. Eventually right. Chiefs headed back to the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, the two-time MVP and Chris Broussard falls flat. What does this mean for Lamar and the future of the Ravens? And finally, after his second playoff comeback in 2 weeks, has Brock Purdy made a believer? Out of honestly everyone. That's a W for you.
I always was a believer. I needed this. Brock came through for that.
That's right.
I needed it badly. I was in bad shape at halftime.
Alongside Chris Broussard, I'm Kevin Wilds. Nick, how are you feeling today?
Everyone's going to find out in just a minute.
Excited.
I can take
you guys bouncing off the wall.
I mean, listen,
all day.
It's a Super Bowl preview, which means it's a Chiefs show.
Called me
That's
swearing.
just what it is. Oh, yeah, of course I did.
FaceTime me last night.
Yeah, that happened too. I yelled at one of your children.
We start with the inevitable. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are headed back to the Super Bowl for the fourth time in 5 years. Mahomes completes 77% of his passes against what Brew told me was the league's best defense.
Well,
and he summons vintage jobs not done Kobe energy afterwards. Take a listen.
You don't take it for granted either. You never know how many you're going to get to, if you're going to get to any. And so it truly is special. Just to do it with these guys after what we've been through all season long, the guys coming together, it really is special. But I told them, I mean, the job's not done. I mean, our job now is to prepare ourselves to play a good football team in the Super Bowl and try to get that ring.
Okay. Nick, was there ever a doubt?
Was there ever a doubt? Brew, what'd they do? Because this game wasn't in Kansas City.
Nah.
This game was in Baltimore.
I'll let you say
They went to the bank. Mm-hmm. They broke into their house. Yeah. They found their favorite robe.
Oh.
They found their favorite slippers. They sat in their lazy boy. And, Brew, what did they then make themselves?
I actually have an answer for that.
What'd they make themselves?
Well, they told the Ravens, we don't want your stinking ham sandwich. Make us some sloppy joes.
Well, you know
That's
what?
they told.
Okay, but disagree. Instead, if we could, they said, make us the biggest and best sandwich you've ever seen. Oh, I've got a sandwich befitting the evening.
Wait, what?
Because that's what they did, Brew. And while the sandwich bit is yours, thank you, everyone. And there's a nice large soda pop.
Why did I never have a sandwich?
Because it was never befitting the moment. But Wild, you asked me, was there a doubt? How could there be a doubt when I gave you the exact recipe on Friday?
He did.
And now I blew the score. I said 19-13. I was way off. It was 17-10. 4 Lamar sacks. How many times did he sack, Brew? 4 times. 3 Mahomes throws. We'll get to that in a moment. 2 back-breaking Mahomes scrambles. He actually had 3. 1 defensive pass interference on Cena. I missed that. Instead, it was 1 egregious holding call that took away a touchdown. And, of course, 0 Patrick Mahomes turnovers. If we can show you those 3 big Mahomes throws to start the game, the greatest quarterback ever to the greatest tight end ever for the greatest playoff connection ever, bam. Later in the game, 3rd and 5, critical play. It's Patrick Mahomes saying, Lamar, this is what you try to be, but I actually am. And then, to ice the game, for the much maligned MVS, who Chris Broussard had kicked out of the league, Patrick Mahomes believed it. And so that's the Mahomes piece of it. Then there is the defensive masterclass, where this defense that I told you was underrated, this defense that I told you that was doing what the Ravens were doing without forcing turnovers. But what if they start forcing turnovers? They made the MVP look pedestrian. So the actual MVP could keep adding to his resume, which at this point is impossible to believe, so I just have to keep showing it to you. Patrick Mahomes, postseason, all-time ranks, first in everything. Despite that, though, Brew, he has had 1 bad postseason moment, the second half against Cincinnati. Since then, since Patrick Mahomes' 1 postseason mistake, well, he hasn't turned the ball over. That's an all-time record. They haven't lost. That's pretty good. And he has done it as an underdog, injured, and on the road. And then, last but not least, there was, finally, thankfully, in the nick of time, some Ravens bulletin board material. Courtesy, if I can misquote Peyton Manning, their idiot kicker, Justin Tucker, who once upon a time was known for being the greatest kicker ever. Now he's known for this. These silly hijinks right before the game, poking Mahomes and Kelsey, which then led to the greatest game of Kelsey's career and a perfect Mahomes playoff game. So for the first of many, if we could please, drop the damn banner. Hey, Justin Tucker, practice somewhere else. You got 100 by 52 yards. Go find somewhere else to practice, not where Mahomes is warming up. So no, from that moment, Brew, there was no doubt.
Is that it? I'm waiting for more banners.
You know what? You know what? More banners might be coming. I guess we'll see.
I got to say something I don't think Wiles I've ever said on this show. And this is hard because I've never said it. Nick, you were right. Yeah. Never. I don't know how many shows I've been on. It's been a lot, hundreds. But the Chiefs are incredible.
Yeah, we told you this.
I know, but I want to look. I can sit here and praise the Chiefs. You did a good job. I got to say something about the Ravens.
Please.
The Chiefs showed championship mettle and composure, and the Ravens self-imploded. I'm not taking anything from the Chiefs. The Chiefs beat them fair and square. The Ravens self-imploded. One of the most impressive things the Chiefs may have done was they shook the Ravens.
Yeah.
And they made the Ravens forget who they were. They lost their identity. After Mahomes moved down the field with those two first possessions to score, the Ravens start saying, oh, we can't stop him. Even though our defense is number one, even though it was historic, we can't stop him, so we're going to have to win the shootout. So we're not running the ball anymore.
That seemed odd.
They led the league in rushes, 32 rushes a game. They rushed 16 times yesterday, and a lot of those were scrambles. Gus Edwards had a nice 15-yard gain in the first quarter, doesn't touch the ball the rest of the first half on a rush. All right, so they forgot who they were, and I'll give the Chiefs and Mahomes' mystique credit for that, because even though the Ravens' defense buckled down and started playing well, they still were like, they panicked. We got to score. We got to throw the football. We can't run. And then the second thing was, like I said, the Chiefs showed championship character. And I hate to say it, because I didn't just pick the Ravens. I like the Ravens.
And you've been rolling with them all year.
They look like some bullies. And what I mean by that is they bullied everybody. They bullied the two teams that played after them, the Lions and the Niners.
Yep.
Once they realized we can't bully, or we're not beating this team on the field. In fact, we're getting bullied. They said, all right, if we can't get them on the field, let's get them through dirty pool. That's right? So then you see they had 5 15-yard penalties. You got the one where on the one possession when the Chiefs got the field goal at the end of the first half, you had 2 15-yard penalties. Kyle Van Noy headbutts Travis Kelsey. Yep. Then Jones, clotheslines Mahomes. That was a 52-yard field goal. I'm not sure the Chiefs get that without the 30 yards you gave them in penalties. Yep. Yeah. And then I got to say this, because what those reminded me of was Mike Tyson fighting Evander Holyfield, realizing he's not afraid of me. He's not intimidated. I might not beat him, so he bit his ear. And that's what the Ravens resorted to, I hate to say. Last thing I got to say, Zay Flowers, who is a wonderful player.
Yeah. You want to revisit that Zay Flowers conversation? I'm ready for it.
I think Zay is better personally, but Zay, you catch a 54-yard pass, get to the 10-yard line of the Chiefs. What in the world are you taunting about? You're down 10 points. You've been getting beat up the whole game. You're taunting? I think if he doesn't taunt and they stay at the 10, I think they score before the end of the third quarter. Now you're going into the fourth quarter down 3. It might be a different game. But Zay blew. So they really, the Chiefs, I'm not going to say they beat themselves because the Chiefs played great. But the Ravens just self-imploded, self-destructed.
I heard that was perfect. That was really well done. Did you hear I was wrong or I'm sorry?
No,
guys?
I heard Nick was right.
Well, if Nick was right.
Well,
yeah,
we
but
just
you know,
didn't hear-
sometimes
I
it's
was.
good. Yeah. Well, you know what?
I've never said this.
We've
in
got
my life.
That's
We've
okay.
got
We got a
9
long show.
55 years.
We've got a
got
long
9
I
show.
was.
You can save it. You
Yeah.
can save it. Mahomes got out to an early lead, and the Kansas City defense led the way from there. Game-changing play.